This may surprise you, but not once in my childhood did I grow up saying, when I grow up, I want to be an artist. And that was the only sentence I was able to get in before this guy needed me. This is going to be a theme, isn't it? You guys will know how good my day is going based on if this guy's in my arms or not. If things are going the way they're supposed to be going. Because I planned this better. I set time aside. He was down for a nap. His brother was down for a nap. But here we are. So yeah, growing up, I never thought about being an artist. I never wanted to be an artist. It never even crossed my mind, to be honest. I liked art, but the thought of doing art, like, it wasn't bad. I don't know, it didn't cross my mind. I wanted to be an astronaut first, and then I wanted to be a baker, and then I wanted to be a vet, and I wanted to be a marine biologist. Like, I was all over the place. I had no idea what I wanted to be, but artist, that wasn't one of them. It's the only way I'm going to get this video done, guys. And I'll be damned if my husband hears me doing a voice recording while he's gaming in the background. I'm not ready for that. So this is when I have time to make these. I know what I wanted to be when I grow up. So that left me multi-passionate for sure, exploring a lot, trying everything under the moon. My mom and dad were very supportive of any dream that I was having that month, basically. It was changing all the time. I was always a very creative person. Just not specifically drawing and painting all the time. I wasn't that kid that was like, I always had a sketch pad with me and I was always the one with crayons while other people were in sports. Like, no, I wasn't doing sports, but I was doing everything else, like baking and redecorating my room every 6 months and doodling for sure, coloring, painting. I was painting clay figurines, going to pottery classes. Elementary school, nothing too special, just did art classes like everyone else did. Middle school, I dabbled in some photography. Like, I feel maybe everyone didn't, but I feel like everyone kind of dabbled in photography. You know, like, you took one really cool picture of that tree in your yard and then, like, you made it black and white or crazy oversaturated and you're like, look at this, I'm an artist. It's like, I got a lot of that. I got a whole album of photos like that. Things that I thought were quite good. I was trying to come up with my own recipes and like creative ways to remake things that already existed. I made like this horrible cake with my friend for an exploratory class. I'll put a picture of it in here. I still have a picture of it. And we tried to make it like funfetti looking on the outside with food coloring drops, but it just looked unedible. It was disgusting. I tried coming up with a cupcake business and I had the whole business plan and I had like all my theoretical cupcakes. I went as far as even making these special cupcakes. Like, they all had special themes and special flavors. Like, I remember one of them was like, I think banana split, and I had ice cream in the middle of the cupcake. So totally unart related, yet related entirely, because it was a lot of creative endeavors that I was always on. I think if someone had pushed me towards art or like signed me up for more classes or had been particularly commenting on my art, I might have been more drawn to it. But since that wasn't happening, I never thought of myself as an artist. That was something that very talented people did, and I did not think of myself as talented. So I wasn't really drawn to it. But in high school, we had to take art classes, like more serious art classes. And naturally, my skills were starting to show. And I don't think I started off gifted by any means. Like, I will insert some photos of some old art for you guys. I had a long ways to go. However, as an art teacher myself, I was an art teacher, I could tell in my own art that there were nuggets there that showed I needed a lot of refining, but there was something there, if that makes sense. And I think my teacher saw that too, so I was pushed to take more art classes. I was constantly being recommended to take higher level art classes, to the point where I had taken all the art classes that I could have without jumping over to ceramics. That really wasn't my thing. Definitely not my thing. Jump to senior year of high school. Most people by then have already figured out where they're going. And if they haven't, they're starting to apply to places, at least knowing the direction they want to go. My parents did not go to college. They were tradespeople and a stay-at-home mom. And it's not that they didn't encourage me to go to college. It's just it wasn't really a conversation that we had all that often. I didn't have a lot of guidance in that department. They were very supportive of whatever I wanted to do, but I kind of had to figure it out on my own. And on my own, I thought I wanted to be a makeup artist. And I was a makeup artist actually throughout school, like college. That's actually what helped pay for my college. It was a really great gig that I had for about 7 years. But I thought I wanted to do like movie makeup or like editorial makeup, like very avant garde stuff. I was known in high school for having like very colorful makeup. If I can find some pictures, which I'm sure I can, I'll insert some. I think they'd be kind of funny to look at. But that was really the only kind of direction that I had at the moment. I really didn't have anything else on the table that I was considering. But January of my senior year, my AP studio class that I was in happened to be going on a field trip, and we were taking a tour of a local private art school. So went on the tour, thought the school was amazing, was absolutely inspired and just super impressed by all these artists at that school. Never crossed my mind that that's something that I could do. Just was very impressed, like, wow, that's so neat, good for them. But my teacher at the time encouraged me to apply, and I was completely floored by the idea of thinking that I could even go to a school as nice as the one that we toured, or even be up on the level of the art and the artists that I was seeing at this school. So I kind of brushed off the idea. I'm like, that's crazy. And on the bus ride back, he talked to me more about it and just kept encouraging and really pressing, and then followed up the next week and was like, did you apply to that school? Like, you really should apply. And it just kind of started to, I don't know, I got excited, I guess, by the idea, like a little Twitter pated, rose colored glasses, like, like what if I could be an artist? What if I could go to art school? And mind you, like I said, I'd never thought about being an artist before, but immediately just like flipped that switch, like, sure, why not? Let's just try it. What's the worst that could happen? They just say no. And I was expecting a no for sure. And so I applied and got help from a friend writing the essay and did it all very last minute because, again, this is January, now February time of my senior year. I'm like cutting it very close to the deadline. And I got in. Obviously, you probably saw that coming. I got in and I was shocked. I remember when I got that letter, I was so almost embarrassed because like I didn't like know how to react. That like I just very casually told my parents and then went upstairs. I'm like, hey, by the way, I got into that art school, and then just kind of like tossed the letter in front of them and went upstairs and didn't say anything more than that because I didn't know what they were gonna think of me wanting to go to an art school. I didn't know if I wanted to go to the art school. Like I had a lot of thinking to do because I truly was not expecting to get in. The very next day, my parents were very supportive. They were excited for me. They encouraged me to go, wanted to tour the school, were eager to help me pay for the first year even, which, not that I was surprised. My parents are so generous and very thoughtful people, and they both are entrepreneurs themselves. So I think that they naturally were very encouraging of my brother and I going off and doing our own thing and kind of paving our way no matter what it was. Like they believed in me from the start, which was really cool. I feel very lucky to have such supportive parents. And going to a private art school, I started to kind of get like a chip on my shoulder. And looking at my art compared to my peers, like I sometimes still don't understand why I got in because my art had a lot of refining that it needed. Like I had a long ways to go. My art today still needs a lot of work. I still have so much to learn, and then it was very juvenile. It wasn't bad, but just very juvenile. A lot of technique was missing. I had a lot to learn. But just being accepted gave me quite a chip on my shoulder, like I said. So I started to take myself very seriously, like I am an artist. And I was very eager to learn, very eager to understand all my materials, like was sketching every day. Like I took my art career very seriously for that first year. Yay! Everything stops to make a baby smile, by the way. Yay! Oh, there's the mess I put on the floor to make my desk appear clean. Okay. Don't you know? And I really enjoyed my freshman year. It was so much fun. I loved the school that I went to. It was very expensive though, and my direction for my degree was going to be a fine arts degree, which all of us artists watching this video, and even if you're not an artist, probably hear that and go, ooh. Like, if you're great, awesome. But if you were mediocre like me, that was not the degree. I had no business getting a fine arts degree, especially not at the level I was at. And I knew that deep down, and so I started to do some digging and thinking, and eventually came to the conclusion that I should drop out of art school and try to go a different direction just to make sure that I had some kind of job security. The pressures and the ideas of the starving artist and that would be my life started to get to me, and I didn't want to fail, essentially. So I switched to a regular university. I got a teaching degree. I got an art teaching degree. So I did stick with the lane of art. But that chip on my shoulder, that pride that I had, it completely diminished. I felt very embarrassed and ashamed that I had once been at a private art school and now I am just an art teacher, right? And felt myself wanting to defend my choices all the time, wanting to prove to everyone around me, like, no, I am an artist. I just thought this would be a more lucrative direction. And it makes me kind of sad because I spent a lot of years caring what other people thought about my life choices when in reality nobody cared. Nobody cared. And that's so sad. Like now getting to know lots of art teachers, like they're very talented people and equally deserving of the title artist and that whole prestige kind of feeling that it feels like it had. Like you weren't less than just because you decided to teach art. And if anything, you're more than because you know so much that you're able to teach art. Not only do your own art, but you're able to teach others. So I think now that it's very cool, but at the time I found it embarrassing, which is kind of sad. So fast forward to 2020, we all know what happened there, and I got to spend a lot of time at home due to the nature of my job. And especially because I was the art teacher, there really wasn't much for me to do, which I feel guilty for because a lot of my coworkers were working their butts off to help those little guys, but I kind of just got a vacation out of it. I was at home with not much to do. And that's when that inkling kind of came up that maybe I should do something with my art while I'm home. And that's when my husband, boyfriend, no, fiance, my fiance at the time, was encouraging me to paint and saying that you should get in your studio. He always made sure I had a studio space. So at that time, I had a studio still. And I wasn't using it. So he's like, well, if you're home, like you should use it. And I started to. I did a couple paintings here or there, but I hadn't made my own art in such a long time just because I was so focused on my students and making sure everything was perfect for them that my art fell to the wayside. So I really had like this imposter syndrome about even trying to create art, let alone share it, which I was doing on my old Instagram account occasionally. I post there maybe like once every 5 months. But it remained something that I wanted to do secretly. I kept it mostly to myself and my fiance, but I did want the idea, the dream of being like a full-time artist or to put my work online and share it with everyone and they could enjoy it and I could share what I knew and maybe teach others, inspire others to create as well. Like I really loved that dream and loved that idea of that community, but I didn't think it was possible to build. So I kind of just stuffed it down. Was embarrassed, like that's probably not going to work for me. Which is ironic because I had now gone to art school, become an art teacher, taught art, and had my own studio at home, and I still was too embarrassed to post my art and say and declare myself an artist. It is very strange. I promise my goal is not to be feeding my child in every video, but this might become our iconic thing. Anyways, imposter syndrome was real. Paralyzed me, kept me from painting. I made like 2 things, I think, that year, maybe 3. That brought me a lot of guilt. Like, I felt very ashamed, I guess you could say, for not painting, for not drawing. Like, I should have been, and I wasn't, and I was kind of squandering that away. And I think that's when I started to realize, even if I didn't admit it out loud, that I needed art. I didn't just want it. I didn't just like the idea of being an artist. Like it kept calling to me. And the fact that I felt guilty for not doing it was proof that I needed to and that I needed art. Sorry for the lighting changing. I hope you don't mind all the sunlight that's like now on my face. It was nice even lighting in the beginning of this video. But it's taken us a while to film our 5 to 10 minute video of the day. with a lot of interruptions. So fast forward, I've been teaching a little while, and then I got pregnant with my first son. And I don't know what it was about being pregnant, but it suddenly kind of like I felt like I had a clock, like a countdown on my life, even though that's not at all it. I love being a mother. I'm so grateful for my two boys. But I suddenly was like, I got 9 months to do whatever I want. Like 9 months to be properly selfish before I need to give myself entirely to this other little being. And what am I going to do with that time? And that's when I decided, which I have a habit of doing this. That's when I decided to get really serious about my art. Like every time I've got like a countdown or I've got like a very small window to make something happen, that's when I get serious. Which, you know what? Now thinking about it, that might be like a form of self sabotage that I do. Because then when the baby comes, I can blame not doing art on the baby, and then I don't have to come back if I don't want to. Or I can just be like, oh, sorry, like I'm too busy. Oh, I see what I might be doing. Okay, I'm not going to do that this time because I gave myself a really small window with this guy, and I've been saying I'm not going to do that, but I can see how I'm kind of leaving myself an out there, aren't I? Okay. These chats are going to be therapeutic. 75 days from now, I'm going to be a whole new woman. You're going to know more about me, and I'm going to know more about me, actually. Crazy. So, yeah, I'm pregnant, working really hard on my art channel. Didn't make a new channel at this point. I just started trying to revive the one I had, and surprisingly, it took off. I only had like 1,500 followers, and it didn't bother me at all. I was really proud of my following. I posted like I had 1,000,000 followers. Like, I had no shame suddenly and was having so much fun. I was painting almost nightly, which is something I had not done in years, like since I was in school being assigned art assignments. But I was actually really sad for it to come to an end. I didn't think that I was going to go away from it altogether. I had planned in my head that I would come back to my art page and start posting again, start painting again when my son was like 6 months old. That was the goal. My son turning about 5 months old, something quite catastrophic happened in my life. I will link that video somewhere on the screen, but I'll link it in the description too if you're interested to know what happened. But it led to me just deleting my account altogether and taking a step back from art for a while. I didn't delete the account to take a step back. I deleted the account to actually have a fresh start when I really wanted to come back. So yeah, if you want to know what all happened there, like I said, I'll link the video. But I did come back. And that's because, again, I had that guilt, that nagging that was kind of in the back of my head. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say I thought about painting every single day. And I didn't paint for about 15 months. I didn't paint, I didn't draw, I didn't do anything. But I thought about it every single day. And the guilt would just weigh on me. I felt like I wasn't living up to my best self. I was letting, like, myself down. Therefore, when we got to around September of this last year of 2024, I was like 7 months pregnant, and I just decided to go for it again, which maybe I can get this video done before one of the babies starts freaking out again. Anyways, I think we left off where I'm pregnant and crazy, 7 months pregnant, deciding I'm going full force with this art thing. And just to get to the point already, I think the thing that really motivated me is the fact that I had these two kids coming into the world. I had two parents that supported my dreams, two parents that were entrepreneurs themselves. They did not fear failure. They did not think, what if I can't? Like, they just made it happen, and they did my dad did what supported our family, but he was really good at it, and he turned it into his own business. So he didn't stop there. He knew that he could be self-employed, which is cool. And my mom does what she loves, which is fantastic, and has her own business as well. My brother also has his own business. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Like, I really love art. That is what makes me me. I need to do this. And I need to do this for my kids. I need to show them, like my parents showed me, that it's possible. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just go for it. And that nagging feeling, I'd say, just to summarize this whole video, that's how I knew that I needed to be an artist, that I wanted to be an artist, is the guilt of not painting was more than simply not paint. Like, it was more painful than not painting. And it's hard sometimes to get up every day, go into the studio. It's a lot of mental effort, especially when you're constantly learning. I feel like art is something that you're forever getting better at. And it takes a lot of analyzation skills, and you're constantly comparing, and it's a lot of brain work. It's a big brain workout every time I sit down to draw. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is, because it takes so much mental effort, it's easy to push it off sometimes. It's kind of like working out. Like, yes, it's good for me, but it's hard. And the guilt was harder than the effort I had to put forth in actually creating. So that's how I knew I needed to be an artist. That feeling wouldn't go away. So if you've got that nagging feeling inside you too, it's probably because this is what you're meant to do. Even if it's not art, if it's something else, but it's always on your mind, it's probably on your mind for a reason, and you should probably listen to it. Okay, we finally made it to the end of this rambly story. I hope you enjoyed. If you stuck around this long, maybe consider giving this video a like or subscribing, one or the other. Both would be really cool. But yeah, day 2 of our 75 hard challenge for content creators and artists. I really hope I can do all 75 days, and comment below if you have a channel and you're deciding to do the 75 hard challenge too. I would love to check out your videos. Have a good day, and until next time.